All right, so I'll tell you a little story.
Okay.
It might help you, might not.
Thank you.
It's funny. It's really funny.
Okay.
So, I'm like Christian. So I used to be a drug addict, and
Yeah.
me, right? You guys know. Stop talking like. You distract me, and I want to have a personal conversation with you, but I can't. So I made God this promise, right? I said, Lord Jesus, if you, which is weird because it's like, it's pointless to do that, but, so I said, I'll give up all this if you just let me live, Lord Jesus, and I gave it all up, right? So somehow I wiggled tobacco in there. You know, and my buddy comes in the dorm today with a cigar, and he stop it. This is why it's so funny. Stop it, dude. Stop it. So he comes in with a cigar and he goes, will you smoke this with me for Valentine's Day? Sure, why not? And I went out there and I went, it's great. You know what I mean? I puffed this thing and I didn't inhale it or anything, right? So I give the cigar away. I just can't do this. It's just, yeah, and I'm in there brushing my teeth. And then I went, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my God. What do I do? Right? Because I remember this promise, right? And I throw all this stuff in there that I think, right? Because that's my mentality of it. I got a pretty twisted mind. So I'm like, oh no, what? I'm like, almost was like, man, I can't be forgiven. No, I just threw my salvation away for a non-inhaling puff of a cigar. Oh no, right? And I'm freaking out. And I call my mama, right? I call my lady, I call my mom. I'm 911 calling everybody. I said, Jesus, help me. He said, hey, you're on your own, buddy. So I called my mom because I'm going to tell you a little something about my mom. My mom taught me who God was. You know what I'm saying? She taught me this concept of God that I had through love, through a guiding love. If you have somebody really close in your life that you just love so much because they've never condemned you and only ever loved you, and when you messed up, they really hurt over it, but they didn't really try to control you. And I was pretty liberal as a child, man. I got to run around and do whatever I wanted to do, and that was kind of a blessing and a curse because I got to find out who I was, and then I got to find out what the world was. And no matter what I chose, man, my mom always loved me. You know what I mean? So I've learned this concept of who Jesus was from the love of my mom, right? So I call my mom and I'm like, Mama, because the first time I smoked weed, it was, forgive me, Lord, but it was, I'm not going to lie to you, it was from her weed pipe. They used to have a thing that said top, and it was pot, and I smoked weed, and I freaked out. And I'm crawling on the floor. Mama! Mama! I was so scared that I was going to get in trouble, but I was so scared that I was going to die at the same time. So I'm like, Mama! I smoked your thing. And I was like 10, 11 years old, dude. And she must have thought it was the most adorable thing in the world because I was so freaked out. And she goes, relax, son. You're just high. It's a funny story, right? But she didn't get pissed off, and none of that. So, I mean, I knew it was wrong to an extent, and I knew my other kids weren't doing this stuff, but I was always sneaking in there doing this stuff. And eventually I learned through succession of addiction that I had an addiction personality, but she always let me be me, and she wasn't like the rest of the parents. And she loved me in a way that made me free to do what I want. So I called my mom, Mama! Because she knows I'm doing this God thing, because my mom's a very godly woman too, but she's in the right way. I'm not the, oh, I love you, Mom, but I love you, Jesus, for giving me my mom. So I called her, and she goes, really, dude? You know God's up there chuckling his butt off right now. And she says, it's good, though. And then I learned something at that moment. I said, oh my God, that's the enemy right there, trying to make me feel bad because I'm a sinner and I fall short of the promises that I make to anybody, even God. I fall short, man. I feel bad, and I know that I won't do it again, but it's because I love him and that somebody loves me, and it's my reasons. But I feel this love within me that I'm okay. And who did I run to? I said, God help me. He said, call your mama. When I was on the streets, I had talked to my mom for 5 years, really. And now that I talk to her, I'm starting to realize some things. So some of your relationships will be restored. You You know what I mean? Like, when you pray tonight, man, pray to your heart's content, because a lot of us, we go through a lot of struggles out there, man. And it's kind of self-induced. You know what I mean? And the things that aren't self-imposed, when we are condemning ourselves, when an outside thing comes and hits us, it kind of hits us hard in our emotions. Right? So after I talked to my mom, I felt better, but I was still a little emotional because I felt like I still let God down, but I was okay. So I was still in the no-no zone, but I was okay because I was covered by His grace. So I called my wife, and we have a little spat, right? Because she's not here saying what I want to hear. And I hung up. And I'm like, so check it out. That was an outside influence that was affecting my condemnation that I already had on myself, and I get hung. But I mean, the Lord had His hand in that too. I hung up. She calls me right back, and unlike another relationship, another loved one with me, we don't argue, we don't fight, and we end up like even loving each other even more. And that's God's grace, that's God's love, that's God's mercy. And anything. Here's how I put it, man. I've learned what God is through love, through people that love me, right? And everybody has that one person that loves them so much. And that's just on their team rooting them. Not one person doesn't have a person that loves them. And if you don't, you got me right now. You know what I mean? And I'll love you no matter what you do. So everybody's got that one person. And when I was explaining this concept to an atheist about God and about what God is to me, because I never want to impose my views of God on somebody and say, this is what your God should be. I said, well, this is how because he was confused. And he was like, how do I understand who God is? I said, you know what? This is how I put it. I have kids. When my babies were born, that's what God was, that love that I felt. My mom, I love my mom. My mama. Because my mom, she saved me throughout my whole life from a lot of bad things with her love. I said, that's love to me. And I said, you know what, I put it this way. Anything that I feel happy about in my life, God has had His hand in that. Anything that I've learned from in a good way in my life, God has had His hand from. Like, if a negative influence comes up against me and I think my way through it, I really feel like God empowered me to think my way through that, and I feel good about myself because I just accomplished something. I didn't get knocked down, and I didn't go run to something that's going to destroy me. I used the knowledge that was put in front of me by love and grace, and the rest He took care of. I recognize these things because I've worked hard at finding out what love was because I'm scared of hate. And I really realized that it was a lot of the time, fear will make you do some pretty bad things. Fear will misguide you in some pretty awful ways. And to defend yourself, you'll hurt somebody else and keep people at bay with, oh boy, look, back up. All these tattoos, all these scars, a lot of these things that I go through in my life were out of fear. I instilled fear to keep people away from me because I didn't want them to get close to me. That's what we do, man. We got these defense mechanisms that are based on a lie. Because what really it is, man, is if you fear something like that and you ride it out with love and acceptance and patience, what does the Bible say about love? Love is patient, love is kind, love endures all things. See, I had another situation happen to me where I just had to sit back, shut my mouth, and love somebody regardless of how I felt about it, and they grew into who they were supposed to be, and they made the right decision because they loved me back for loving them for anything. So if I love somebody without condemnation, if I love you through it no matter what you believe, no matter what you think, no matter what you do, that will give you room to grow. And then you'll turn to me and you'll go, man, thank you for just being there for me, period. You know what I mean? Oh, so what if you hail Satan, dude? Go ahead, dude. It's not going to end up anywhere. So I'll be right here and I'll be on this side of the fence and I'll be waiting for you because I'm not going to let you destroy me, but my God protects me because I have a belief in love. And I'll be here out of love waiting for you to get back to me. You know what I mean? And when you come back to me, you're going to go, why did you stand there and love me even though I abused you, even though I hated you? I tell them like this, man, because when I told you that I love you, that's it. I love you. You're my friend for life. You're my mom for life. You're my lady for life. I love my ex-wife. I still love her. I told her I loved her one time. I said, I'll never stop loving you. I love my wife. She thinks that she can do wrong. I think she can do no wrong. I love my mom. Just like she loves me. She's like, you're my baby boy. You can do no wrong. Now, what I equate that to is God in heaven sending His Son down. Says, I love them so much, I want to see them. Son, go, reconcile me to them so I can look upon them. He knew what He was doing when He sent that man down here. When he became incarnate in flesh, He knew what He was doing, man. by loving us. And you know what those people did to that man? I cried. I watched the pastor the other night, and I cried so hard, man. They hurt that man. And he did nothing but try to teach us what I'm telling you now. So I can be free to tell you what I'm telling you now. Without people freaking stoning me and killing me, but they still did that. He died for us, to be free, to love each other. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm telling you how my mama loves me. I can't say, he made it possible for me to tell you that I see no sin in you because Jesus Christ covered you. Now you're going to heaven. So if you're not condemned by Jesus, I'm not going to condemn you. My mom never condemned me. I was fortunate enough to have somebody show me what love is. Now, if you've never had that kind of love shown to you, I'm showing it to you right now. I told you when I'm being honest with you, man. I've learned how to be honest and true from the Bible and the structured ways that it's teaching me, and I've learned that from Jesus Christ, right? So I tell you right now, when I tell you I love you, and if you don't got somebody, you can come to me, man. I give you the shirt off my back. I help you out with whatever I can. You're my friends. You're my friends. We sharing something here. We sharing a special bond, man. And it's not just because you come here and listen to my bull crap. It's you believe in something. You know what I mean? It's not me that you believe in. You believe in love. And when it says in the Bible, God is love, that means you believe in God, regardless if you like to admit it or not. And a lot of people don't like to admit that. But love will drag you through some crap. Loving somebody will drag you through some pain in your heart. It will put you through the ringer. You'll go through some changes. But if you steadfast in His love, in i.e. the love of that you have for that person, if you stay true to that, you're going to come out shining in the end. You're going to come out learning some stuff, and you're going to be, at least you're going to be who you wanted to be. You're not going to take yourself away from that, and that's when we fall apart. When we feel so distraught about ourselves because we let ourselves down, that we separate ourselves from who we wanted to be. Like we got this big vision of ourselves because, like we want to be good. So when we feel like we let ourselves down, we feel like, oh no, we're bad. But know that no matter what you do, man, you can't be bad. Because Jesus Christ died to make you good. To free you from that. To free you from the condemnation, man. But best believe the enemy is going to try to throw fiery darts at you and tell you that this is not true. But above all, this is true. Above all. If we can only know one thing in life, it is that Jesus loved us and died for us, and that love is real. That's the only thing really, really that has any kind of substance in this world, is love. Because sometimes somebody that loves you will tell you something you don't like about yourself. Love is all kinds of things. It's just a force. Like I'm going to tell you if you got a booger hanging from your nose. I'm going to tell you and basically when you tell somebody something, man, don't tell them something so you can know this is right. Tell them that you found out that that's right yourself. Stay in your lane. Don't force yourself on somebody, and that's how people learn and grow the most. People tend to learn and grow the most when they're free to be themselves. And come to the grips with love and understanding by themselves. We can never tell somebody else they're doing something wrong without looking at ourselves first. And it's hard to tell somebody things like this because now we have a standard to uphold. We have to be accountable for the things that we speak and the things that we do. And we have to do what we say we do because we want to be that true person, true to heart to what we taught. So these are the commandments of the Lord, from what I understand, right? And to walk this is tough, and sometimes we're going to fall. Sometimes we're going to puff on that cigar. But to us, it's going to be huge. Like to me, I was over here, I was in tears, man. But to somebody who loves you, somebody who doesn't condemn you like the Lord Jesus, He's going to tell you, dude, it's not that big of a deal. There's much greater sin out there in the world than the things that you think that are bad that you've done in your life that have been forgiven. Much bigger. Much bigger. Come on. There's child molesters, murderers, there's all kinds of people that turn to the Lord, and we're forgiven because they understand now. But it's through that understanding of Jesus Christ and being forgiven that we get grateful and we want to give it back. That's the point. That's the key. You know what I mean? Learning and growing in each other in the faith, and that's faith, man. Because you can't grab love. And you can't. God loves this. You can't see Him standing in front of you, but you believe anyways. That's faith. Faith is also action. It's an action. So is love, though. You can tell somebody you love them to blue in the face, but by showing them, by standing by them, by accepting. Like sometimes when somebody loves us, right, and we accept ourselves and we start going for who we are, make them proud, they know love is too. You have to be a whole person. You have to love yourself because Jesus loved you. You have to know that you're valuable and you're worth something. You have to know these things. You know what I mean? You have to know these things. The stuff that man went through for us, the stuff that he went through for us to sit here and think that we're not worth that when he did, when he didn't even know you, but he did know you. You feel me? That man, that is an amazing story. That is an amazing story. I don't know that I could have done that. I would like to think that I could, and I would strive to be more like that, kind and caring. When he said, "Forgive them, Abba, forgive them, for they don't know what they do," and I couldn't watch it. I had to watch half of it and then come back to it. And this is a real life story that actually happened. It's recorded in history. I choose to believe this, and my life has changed exponentially because I believe this. It has changed to a magnifying level of tenfold, man. 6 months ago, I would not be standing up here telling you this if I didn't have a major shift of a paradigm in my life. Do you think I would even be up here? No way. No way. But I do what I believe is going to give back to what I was given. So if this is long-winded, I do apologize. But I feel like the Spirit's with me tonight, man, and with y'all. I thank you so much for coming and hearing this because it makes me feel like I'm doing something right. But best believe if you weren't coming, I'd still be standing up with you on. So
he has to be a great person to give a person's free will to,
yeah. So
I would still videotape it.
what's that movie called that we're watching?
Passion of the Christ.
It's a good movie.
Oh my God, it's gonna make you cry. Like I seen it, but it didn't take on full meaning until I seen it. And okay, then afterwards, because I know the rest of the story, I know that he was risen. I know the Father saved him. Like I felt so hopeless when he said, "Why have you forsaken me?" And then he said, "To your Father, to your Spirit, I commend thee." And I went, "Oh my God!" But I know the rest of the story. I know that he was risen again, and that God. I know this, that God fulfilled the promise that he gave to Jesus. He's going to fulfill the promise that he gives to you. Jesus tells you this, man. He tells you this. There's more to life than just this. There's way more to it. We're building a spiritual, we're building a body for eternity. So what kind of body do you want to have? I'm saying, you want to have a magnificent one? I mean, because it's all glorious, but there's levels to this stuff. So you are where you are who you are, and I love you, and if you want, we can get praying. So, I'm done. Thank you.